All right, man. How's Comic-Con treating you so far?
Oh man, oh my God, for words. It's been that crazy. Comic-Con has been a blast. Meeting so many different people.
Yeah.
You talk to everyone on the internet for so long, and that you finally get a chance to like put like names to faces and that sort of thing. It's been so great.
Is this your first one, or have you been in multiple ones before?
No, I've been to multiple Comic-Cons all over the country, but then also I came to San Diego about like 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
So this is a nice like return coming in. I was at the first time I went, I was an intern, so it's nice to like come back as like the prodigal child who's like returned. All my old editors are so proud of me. Yeah, they're so proud of me. They're just like, oh, you finally made it. You did it. So yeah, it's great.
Well, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. I wonder where your passion from artwork came from, like that made you want to be an artist and get in the industry. Was a certain art piece, a comic, a movie, video game, anything? Or was it always naturally for you as a kid, you always drawing and stuff?
I was drawing as a child, but I never did anything with it or draw really even that often. But no, it was definitely like a passion project because like my family was obsessed with technology and media.
Oh.
So like I didn't grow up in like a really like a house that had like cable, like I never got like Nickelodeon or a lot of like.
Neither did I.
I never got like a lot of like '90s cartoons, and so what ended up happening is that like I ended up watching like VHS reruns of like Sailor Moon, Jem and the Holograms, G.I. Joe, TMNT. So like my whole family like raised me on like pulp culture from the '80s, and so I just kept absorbing it, and then like they started getting me comic books. So like. To like just get me like happy because my parents were going through a divorce, and they're like, oh man, like let's just like get you to like get like past all that sort of stuff and like, get you introduced to all this sort of cool stuff. And like that is how I became obsessed with everything. And so like from a young age, I was like trying to draw the characters, being like, oh, will I ever do this? Never thought I'd ever do it because I was like I never understood that it was even an option. I was like, oh man, those guys are like robots or like gods. Like they're sitting on top of a hill making these comics. And now like 20 years later, I'm like sitting with them at dinner and I'm like, oh man, it's me. Oh no, I'm here. I've done it. They're all regular people. They all deal with the same stuff that I deal with. Like it's so crazy. So no, it's like it's a very surreal experience. Like as like you get older and more in the industry and they start talking to people and like you get to interact with them so much that like you realize how human everybody is, and like it's just like the greatest like feeling. Like everyone's dealing with the exact same stuff you are, and like it's like the same like passions that you are too.
Cool. So how did you discover Deviant Art? You know, when did you start putting artwork up on there?
Oh, I started Deviant Art like 10 or 15 years ago. I was like, it's so young and like trying to like just find artists because I found like just like magazines and like just like not even like the basis of a website wasn't even around yet, but like I was on the internet way too young. And so I was like, just like I asked Jeeves like our website, and DeviantArt was the first one that came up, and I remember looking at it being like so intimidated by like all the artists on there. Like, oh my god, it's so cool. But I was like, oh, I can do it. Can I post here? Like, am I allowed to do it? And I kept going on and off, like just because like I would post something. At the time I was just bad at drawing, so like I would post and then not get any attention, like any likes or anything, and I'd like be so happy if I got like one or two. But I get so intimidated again that I'd pop off and like hop on like 2 months later with like a new handle and like constantly hiding behind like just different veils. And eventually I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna do it. Finally got on there, having a blast. Like it's so much awesome work. I work with Matt Buholtz, one of the social media guys, and like we worked with like the Eclipse beta for like they had an ARG just recently, and I worked with them for like a comic on it. Really? And it was like a super like awesome experience, and like coming here and getting to meet a bunch of the DeviantArt artists, and like we're all talking and like we all like love the website, and like we're like so excited about like the future of everything that's happening, and like getting to put like again like putting the faces to names, because like we've all been fans of each other's work for so long, and like everyone is so cool. Like I love it because like the community is just so strong. Like that we're just like going back and forth being like, oh, I'm part of this group, oh my god, me too, like did you see this? Like it's like the craziest, most fun thing to like be part of a community that's so strong, and then like getting to expand it further. So we're here to like meet with a bunch of other like artists, and like talk to the artist alley about like DeviantArt and that sort of stuff, and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm like I didn't know that was your name, like I'm a huge fan of your work, like because like everyone's always like doing like usernames as opposed to real names. So eventually like they'll be like, oh man, I've seen this work, and like, oh, this is my username, like, oh, I didn't know, I've been knowing you for so long. Like we had one yesterday, Nips. She was just talking to a random person, and they walk over like, are you Nips? Like, they're like yeah. She's like, oh my god, I'm such a huge fan of your work. I woke up this morning to someone doing fan art of me. They're like, I saw you at San Diego, so I drew like something like one of your characters. I was like, oh my god, thank you. It was like
awesome.
It's like the wildest experience. I love it. It's just so cool to like meet like this huge like conglomerate of just nerds and like passion, and like it's so exciting because like we're talking about like how like we're all like re-energized to draw this coming week. So
I
yeah.
love it. Yeah, that's why I love coming to Comic-Con every year. It's just, there's so much energy just because so many people are just so happy. It's like Disneyland, basically. There's just, they pump something in the air.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm convinced that there's like little events that are just just doing something that's making everyone so excited. It's just everyone like getting to see the thing, and getting to talk about it with like-minded people. Because like it's one thing to like talk about it on the internet, like through Twitter or Instagram, because like like everyone's like you cater it to it, but like it's just a one level of like difference, because like it's not really there, like you're not actually talking to someone, so it's like it's you read it with like your own tone of like how you're feeling that day, where here everyone's like, oh my god, I'm a big fan of your work, or like, oh, like I can't love this show. Like it's just great to see everyone here and like trying to find the thing that they love, and like finding new things to love, because you have so many cool artists and like small exhibitors that are like, oh hey, look at our stuff, and you're like, oh, I love it, it's like the greatest thing ever. It's like, yeah, it's everyone getting to be their genuine selves, and like getting to be proud of that. And it's cool, like in the rise of like nerdom in the last like 15 years has been like this crazy experience.
It's pretty amazing, because like I definitely became a nerd in the 80s, and I remember just when the Punisher movie came out, that was a big deal, but if no theaters were showing it, it was hard to find a VHS copy. You know, there was no Comic-Cons where I grew up in Maryland. I used to drive to like Philly or New York for conventions like that. And it's cool that now it's become popular. It's everywhere now,
absolutely.
you know?
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. I'm from Phoenix, so I'm like, I'm super lucky, because like Phoenix Comic-Con is actually pretty solid, and like it's growing more and more. I think it's called Phoenix Fan Fest now. But it was just like, there's, oh man, like I could go on forever just how exciting it is to like walk in and someone's just like, oh, take a photo of this person. Like you see the character, like, it's like, my favorite part of like whenever you see cosplay is like, you never see, oh, it's somebody dressed as this character. Like it's like, oh look, it is Deadpool. Like it's Deadpool. And then like you walk like 2 more feet and it's another one. You're like, oh look, it's another Deadpool. Like it's just like this cool thing, like you get to like show the love, and there's like no restraint. Like everyone's like just like, we've shed our weird mortal coils and are just like, yes, this is it. I get to really love this thing. So
I could talk to you all day about this stuff, but you got any upcoming projects? Anything you're allowed to talk about before I let you go?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm working with Oni Press right now on a comic book that'll be coming out next year. Can't talk about too much, but I've been teasing it a little bit on my Instagram, on my Twitter. Instagram's I am Justin O, and Twitter's Oh No Justin O. I'm working with Curtis Wee from Rat Queens, which is a huge thing, huge experience. To me, he modernized fantasy for like the next 50 years with his work, and so getting to work with him on this next project is amazing. And I work with Wizards of the Coast on Roll 20. Yeah, with Roll 20, doing a lot of like character art for their shows, and that's always a huge thing. Shout out to Carlos Luna. Yeah, that's where you can find all of my stuff right now.
All right, pleasure. Thank you so much, man.